Jace Denman here for Flag Family Media. I'm here with MSUM women's basketball head coach Karla Nelson. Coach, thanks for taking some time with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. So going into it, we got a chance to see your team just at the tail end of last year.
Yep.
You were kind of middle of the pack. There were some good things from your season last year, some things you probably would like to do better. So for those not familiar with Dragon women's basketball, tell us a little about your squad last year and how kind of that season went.
You know, it was a squad that was relative, I would say, undermanned in the sense we didn't have a very veteran bench. But it really all started with Peyton Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows Peyton Boom, great post player for us. Basically, how she played is probably how we were going to play. If she played well, we were going to probably be in just about every game. If she didn't, it was going to be a struggle. And then we had another senior on that team, Mariah McKeever, who played a big role, and we lost both of them now to graduation. So just kind of moving on and taking some of those experiences. Natalie Jen's got good experience. Taryn Johnson got some good experience. And Olivia Skibble probably got some good experience in the league, starting every game for us. So we're going to have to rely on those three pretty heavily going into this season.
So when it comes to kind of projecting into this season, then, are those the three key players that need to produce for you guys to progress from last season and kind of improve upon what you guys did last season?
Well, I think you can look at it two ways. Yes, you do need those three to continue to develop and play at a high level, but you're also going to have to bring your freshman and sophomore class along. If we can bring those freshmen and sophomores along quickly, I think we'll compete really well. I'm not going to say we're going to win every game. I'm not going to judge this year by wins and losses. I think it's kind of how we continue to develop those, especially that freshman class, because I think they're very talented.
Speaking of your freshman class, some of the sophomores, and who are some key players in those two classes that we need to kind of keep an eye on this season?
You know, I would like to see Tori Ratz play a little bit more aggressively. She's primarily a three-point shooter, but she's going to need to figure out how to, every once in a while, keep the defense honest by getting to the rim. Kaylee Young's probably somebody else we're looking at that will need to keep developing her game. And, I've seen some signs. We've had a couple exhibitions, or scrimmages, I should say. I thought she has done some good things. She just needs a little bit more confidence, a little bit more. The word I want to say is piss and vinegar, but I can't really say that right. I really want to say.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
A little bit more aggressiveness. Yeah, if she would do that, she would probably surprise a lot of people because she has good length. She can shoot the three. She can do a lot of things that are, she's a glider. But again, you have to play with a certain level of intensity, and she hasn't found that on a consistent basis.
Talk a little bit about your non-conference schedule. We know that we just talked to Coach Bergstrasser. The men are going to go to Missouri, to South Dakota, to Michigan. I know you guys got a trip to Washington. You get to go to Canada. Hope you got your passports ready. So talk a little bit about that non-conference schedule and how that's going to prepare you for an NSIC schedule this year.
Well, first we open up in Oklahoma against Rogers State in Central Missouri. And Central Missouri, first of all, Rogers State we know nothing about because they got a new coach. They got 9 new players, so that'll be really interesting because we're not a team that I think can make a lot of adjustments on the fly because of our youth. Central Missouri, very physical, it's, I think, in the top 10 nationally right now, and I know enough about them, so it's maybe too much. But they're going to be a good test for us. Anytime you go on the road, it's going to be a good test. Then you go to Central Washington. 2 really good teams out there in that tournament. Never played them before, so that'll be interesting. And then heading up to Vancouver first to play Simon Fraser. That'll be a first for us. So really good. Taking that trip will be a first for us in many ways. But again, I think you're going to see a lot of maybe some different defenses. I'm not sure about pressing yet. I haven't really watched a lot of film, but just the physicality. When you're going to play a lot of freshmen, I'm probably going to play, 5 or 6 freshmen. Everything's going to be new to them, right? So it doesn't matter if it's old to me, it's going to be new to them. And, it's going to take a while for them to adjust to everything.
You've been a coach here for how many years now has it been? Has it been 20?
Well, I've been a coach here for 30, a head coach for 24 on the women's side, and then softball, I was head coach for 5.
So over the course of your career, 30 years in coaching, 24 as head coach, during that long, illustrious career.
You can say long, anyway, that's fine.
But what can you take away from your years in coaching to really kind of try and help prepare the younger players, the freshmen and sophomores, to kind of, help stoke that confidence other than just getting them playing time?
I think first of all is trying to keep everything simple, right? Because me knowing as much as I know, can be overwhelming for them, right? So maybe I need to just chill out a little bit and allow them to. It doesn't matter what I say; they're still going to have to experience it. Right. I could tell them this is what they're going to see, and they're going to go, "Oh, okay." And to what maybe that intensity level, they're not going to have any idea. So it's a matter of just allowing them to experience. All these new things, especially freshmen and sophomores, and traveling on the road is a different beast all in itself. So you have to experience it, and then you got to put it in your memory bank, and then it should pay dividends later. But for me, I know certain things, and sometimes it seems daunting to try to teach them some of these things. So you just have to be patient.
Do you think that...
And, patience is not my middle name, so I'm trying to turn over a new leaf with that.
Okay, then it's my turn now, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you think that having these longer road trips to start the non-conference schedule, do you think that, because you talk about having a very young team, do you think that will help with the bond, the chemistry, or is that something that maybe is overplayed a little bit with the media types?
I think it's overplayed a little bit, but it certainly doesn't hurt. I think the first trip we go to Tulsa, is a perfect way to maybe start off the year. And, the nice thing is when you get on the road, as a coach, you can control a lot of their day, right? When they're at home, you can't control anything. So that's helpful. But having that short trip, giving them a taste is probably a good thing. And then we have about a week, and then we head to Seattle. Seattle might get a little long because we're out there for almost a whole week. So there's pros and cons to it. I think the shorter trips are better. Longer trips, you might end up getting a little sick of each other. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, let's just hope that someone brings the turkey, so you guys are going to be out there over Thanksgiving.
Turkey. We're going over to the Skibbles. They live out there, so
really? Okay.
So we're going to head over there for Thanksgiving.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the NSIC, obviously you had one of the teams in the conference made it to the national championship last year, I believe, if it was Minnesota State.
Minnesota Duluth.
Oh, Minnesota Duluth.
Yeah, the championship, yep.
All right, so you have a lot of good quality teams in this conference. So when you talk about you don't really necessarily want to judge this season on wins and losses because you got a young team, you're trying to progress. It's a long-term vision. So when you assess the NSIC as a coach and just kind of give your thoughts on the conference, I mean, I've always felt back in the day when it used to be the NCC that this upper Midwest, it's one of the best Division II conferences in the nation. And it really looks like the talent is there to back it up for the women's side. So when it comes to your view as a coach of the rest of the teams, is this the best conference in Division II?
Well, if it's not, it's close, right? Right now I think Minnesota State Mankato is ranked number 2 in the country. That just came out. I think Duluth is 8 or 9, if I'm not mistaken. And the University of Mary has a talented group. So, I think right now when I look at our league, it's probably those 3, and then the rest of us are going to fight it out. And I think that some teams are younger, some teams are bringing kids back off injury. So it all depends on how teams come together and how quickly teams mature and their chemistry. But right now, I would say hands down, Mankato should lead the way, and Duluth is right up there, and so is Mary. I mean, I think you're talking about experienced squads. Loads of talent.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a gauntlet of a season, obviously, for you guys with a very tough conference. We wish you all the best of luck. We're looking forward to being able to cover you guys on Saturdays. So, best of luck, and we look forward to covering you this season.
Appreciate it, and it should be a fun year.
Awesome. That's head coach Karla Nelson from your Dragon women's basketball team. I'm Jace Denman for Flag Family Media. We'll talk to you soon.